Hey y'all, what's up? JamiThatsMe here. Welcome back to the channel and welcome back to another conversation, another quick chat. And on this quick chat, we're talking about Falynn Pina. Now, I came to y'all last week to let y'all know that Jaylan Banks came to the front. Okay, he did an interview with Relationship Matters podcast where he pretty much called Falynn out for being a groomer amongst other things. He mentioned that she was out here, in a whole new relationship shortly after him. He said she was already cheating on him. Her child is calling, the man dad and all of this stuff, right? So he came to the front to have a lot of things to say. Falynn did a clapback response by showing her in a t-shirt that says the groomer. And now she has sat down with Baller Alert to do a interview where she gives us more details about Mr. Jaylan, honey. And it's not looking good. Okay, I'm just going to be real honest with you, Jay. It's just not, listen. The things that she's saying got me over here like, what? So let's get into what Miss Falynn said. So number one, she explains how she and Simon met, which was via a blind date. I believe he flew her out to Miami. They had dinner, enjoyed themselves, whatever it was, okay? At some point, he asked her to relocate to Atlanta. She's originally from Atlanta. She relocates to Atlanta. They dated for about 5 years, from my understanding, or at least they were together for about 5 years. There was cheating involved where Simon cheated on her with an assistant. That's not new information. I do believe that she mentioned that previously, where he has cheated on her with an assistant. And she said amongst other women that he has indeed cheated on her with. So this right here really ain't nothing new, okay? She says that they took a break for a minute where she went on to date some other guy named London. And then she secretly started back dating Simon for a few months. And then 3 months later or whatever, however long she started dating him secretly, they got married. Okay. She says that she was truly Simon's trophy wife because she didn't have to really do anything, pay for anything, take care of nothing, whatever, besides the kids. Of course, his kids, her kids is what she had to manage. Okay. He gave her a business that she said that she created, but he was still in full control of, okay? So much so that when they decided to finally divorce, he took the company back from her, even though she was the one to create it. So it was just a lot going on, okay? So she says that when she found out about Porsha and Simon, it was when everybody else found out about them, okay? When they made the post, or at least Dennis made the post congratulating her, that's when she found out. And when she found out, her reaction was like, wait a minute. How the fuck long has this been going on? How long has this been happening? She said that she know he cheated on her with the snow bunny. It was some other women before the snow bunny that he was flying out the country to see or whatever. So she's trying to figure out at what place does Miss Porsha fall in line at for him to just get engaged with you. Because if you know your person that you've been with for all these years, you know how they operate, you know how they move. So I know I would think to myself, like, well, for you to just jump, that's not what you do. So you had to been talking to this woman for X amount of months or whatever the case was. Whoop de la la la. So how the fuck long has this been going on? Okay. So it was just giving every bit of weird, honey. That's what she said. She says, Falynn says that she and Jaylan, okay, so of course we talked about the multiple times Simon cheated on her with the assistant, other women. She said he even told her, listen, when she was unhappy about that, like, you need to stop. He says, listen, you're not in control of nothing. Okay, allegedly. Now this is what Falynn saying, you're not in control of nothing. And she says that he told her, you don't never dictate who works for me, how they work for me, or anything, okay? I got your it's laid up here for a reason to be cute, so you need to sit back, collect your coin, and be fucking cute, and that's it. Okay, so that's how she kind of worded it. Now, when it goes to Jaylan, she speaks on Jaylan, and she says that they were friends originally, okay? They had already been friends before he was her assistant, okay? He kind of became her assistant in 2019 because he helped her out with the kids because she had to do a lot of things, a lot of planning for her children and Simon's children. I think Simon could have had 3 or 4 kids. She also had maybe like 3 at the time. So it was just a lot of kids, all right? On top of her trying to manage whatever business Simon would allow her to manage, okay? So yeah, Jaylan became her assistant in 2019, although he had another primary job. When COVID hit, Jaylan lost his job, according to Miss Falynn, all right? He lost the job, and she was like, well, you done lost your job or whatever the case is. Like, let's put some money in your pocket, and come and work for me like full time, whatever the case is. And that's what he did, okay? Now, let's see. She says that at some point she kind of felt like Simon was really putting her off on Jaylan, like to a point where he really didn't even want to be bothered with her. It was like, here's some money. Go take her out on the town. Go hang out. Y'all go shopping. Go do this. Go do that. So she says that it's kind of like he was giving her over to another man anyway. Okay, so that's what she's saying. Okay, she says she speaks on starting a petroleum company. He was selling oil, but she was transporting the oil. All right, so they had some type of oil company going on. And I remember when Simon did a live and Simon said that Falynn had money and somebody asked, what was she doing? And he did mention that she was doing a petroleum company. But Simon, what you didn't say was that you turned around and you snatched that company from her ass. You see what I'm saying? That's why I can't give you too much, Simon. I can't give you too much time because I be feeling like you don't be giving the full truths and stuff, and you be over there lying too. Okay, so anywho, making it seem like the girl had money only for you to snatch the stuff up from her. Did she really have money? Because how she's telling the story, like you still were in control and in charge of all of that. You know. I'm just telling you what she's saying. You gave her a little piece of an allowance. Well, we really want no piece, girl, if you giving her 10 racks a month. She had a little allowance and stuff going on. So you definitely took care of her, but you heavily controlled her according to her. Like she really couldn't hang out with none of her good Judies. She could really only hang out with you. She was always seen out with you. And then you started to pawn her off on Jaylan. All right. He was really the only person she could hang out with. So, of course, that was naturally going to draw her closer to him. And them over there confiding in each other was also going to bring them closer. So, we hate to see it. Anywho. What else? She says that after the divorce, she did get some money. She was set up straight. She did sign a prenup. However, they had 2 homes. He sold the homes that they had. She got a cut of that money. Okay. In addition to that, it was a separation check. She had that money. In addition to that, he would give her like an allowance, 10 racks a month, whatever the case was. She stacked that money up. She had that money. Okay, so when I hear her talk about this money, it's not unbelievable for me to believe that Falynn stacked a lot of money, in my personal opinion, which is why when I first heard Jaylan mention on couples retreat that he was paying for everything, I was like, I refuse to believe. I refuse to believe that. I believe she had enough money saved up to probably take care of her for more than 1 year. And with that money, like, did she really need you to do anything? I felt like she didn't really, you know what I'm saying? Like when he said he was taking care of everything, I'm like, I don't think she needed you for all of that. You know? I mean, I guess it doesn't mean that he wasn't taking care of everything. You know what I'm saying? Maybe he was, but, and maybe she was continuing to save her money, but I don't know. I think she was the one that had the money. But anywho, let's keep going. So she talks more about Jaylan. And she speaks on how Jaylan provided, okay? She says that she always wanted to save his image, okay? She says that she always wanted him to feel like a man. Ooh, you always wanted him to feel like a man. That kind of makes me think that he probably never really took charge in a relationship. Like, that's what I'm getting. And you wanted him to feel comfortable in that space, like he really was the man. Like, I don't know. It just sounded like you knew you had kind of like downgraded a little bit or got like the complete opposite of what Simon was giving you. So I don't know, something about that. Interesting. She says that she is defending herself. She wasn't going to even talk about this or anything, really getting into her breakup or nothing like that. But the fact that Jaylan went to a platform to kind of like speak on her name, she feels like it's only right that she gets to respond to that. And that's exactly what it is that she's doing here. Okay. So that's what Falynn says. She says that he never paid for anything and that she took care of everything. He never paid for anything and she took care of everything. All right. In addition to that, she did say that, listen, he's a great dad. That's one thing I'm not going to take away from him. I think he's a really great dad. She talks about how she bought him 2 trucks, but at the end of the day, she took them back. Okay, girl, I can't. Now she took the trucks back. She goes on to say that there was cheating. Jaylan was out there cheating on her, coming in the house at late hours. Got a one lady being able to track his location and him being able to track hers too. Girl, this is some messy stuff here. She said it was definitely DV. involved, definitely abuse and stuff going on in the relationship. She mentioned him putting his hands on her and how he said he wasn't gonna put his hands on her no more. And then she also says that her kids will overhear them, but the kids wasn't gonna say anything because they wanted mommy to be happy or whatever the case was, so they just act like they didn't. That's what she said. Now she says that she was moving on to see other people at some point, I guess, in a relationship. So it was given, if you out at the club, don't think I'm not. Feeling good in somebody's spot, getting hot, don't stop, just don't think I'm not. So while you out here, Jaylan, doing what it is you want to do, then I'm going to do what it is that I want to do. So once she started doing that, that's when things really began to be aggressive. She said he came home at 4 a.m. and choked her the hell out. Now, this is allegedly what Miss Falynn is saying, honey. These some strong allegations. But she said that he choked her the hell out. She says that she called that man. She says, I know he's sitting up there trying to say that I've moved on to a whole nother man. She said, but here's the thing. When you was over there doing me the way that you was doing me and stuff, baby, that man was the only man that was willing to show up because I ain't had no family around. Hello? So he showed up for me. I needed somebody to come through, swoop us up, protect us, and that's what that man did. So if you got an issue with that, that's on you. This is what she said now, y'all. Okay? It seemed like when she started to talk about the DV and things that took place between she and Jaylan, she was fighting back tears, in my opinion. Okay? From what it looks like to me, she was trying to hold on to them tears and not let them drop. It seems like it's still a sensitive spot for her. I mean, of course it is. Y'all just broke up at the top of this year. Okay, and I don't know when the abuse happened. It could have still been happening by the time they broke up or whatever. But yeah, okay, it seems like it's something that's still, affecting her. Now, she does go on to say that she's not a groomer. Don't ever use that type of shit with her again. She says, how can I groom you when there's nothing to groom you for? Okay, I did everything. Okay. And then for you to say that when you know that I was in a situation where I felt groomed by a person that was 30 years older than me, for you to say that, absolutely not. She said she went off on him. She called him and asked him, like, do you even know what the fuck that means? And she said he told her, like, yeah, I may have used the wrong term or whatever, but you still manipulated me. And she's like, how? Like, what are you talking about? How did I manipulate you? So that was their thing, all right, where they got into it. She says that he wasn't taking care of anything in the house like that, like he trying to claim that he was, because she was the one that was doing everything. No, I'm just telling y'all what she said now. And she says that she never bossed up on him because he was abusive, and says she only splurged on him because he made her feel appreciated. She says he became physical with her when she was pregnant with their daughter. Girl, that's given in the first year of the relationship, honey. I don't know. This is some messy stuff, because she also talked about him being depressed, and he was in such a deep depression that he would sit and play his game for hours and hours and hours and hours and hours. So I don't know. I wasn't there. I can't say whether that man, abused her or not. But that's interesting. I'm surprised with him being depressed, he ain't take nothing out on you if he was already, abusive, versus him sitting there playing that game all day. But I don't know. That's just some crazy stuff. Anywho, she says that he was spending her money every night in the club buying bottles and sections. And that's where the card would have got cut off on his ass. And that's where he would have got definitely cussed the dog fuck out. And she says, so when he tries to say that I'm controlling, or if he tries to say that I'm manipulative or whatever, that's what he's talking about. It's because I wasn't finna let him go out there and just continue to run up my cars and spend money on sections and bottles and all of that. Like, that's what was really going on. Okay, she says, while he's over there talking about I'm trying to take his youth, that's the stuff he's talking about. I'm trying to take his youth because you have a family at home and we're engaged, but you're trying to be all out the house, hang out and stuff like you used to, and you can't do that same type of shit like that no more. Okay, now she says that he is a really good liar. Falynn, I'm going to be very honest with you, baby. I think y'all both are really good liars, okay? I don't think it's one liar that's better than the other, in all honesty. She says he acts like they cool, but behind her back, he over there texting her man trying to, I guess throw shade or whatever on their relationship, or say little slick shit about her or whatever. So that is definitely giving every bit of weird. She lets us know that at this time she is indeed dating a boxer. An actor that also does boxing in ATL, but she will not say who the person's name is. And I ain't even mad at her not telling us who the hell the name is. You ain't got to tell us who it is, girl. You ain't really got to, like, keep that to yourself, you know, because I mean, I would hate to see any type of embarrassment or anything like that. So if you don't want to share, girl, don't tell the people. Just do what you do. But you done said he an actor and a boxer. It ain't gonna take long for people to find out who you dating anyway. She says that she loves love. She doesn't want to die alone, and she's going to continue to be on the search. Like, she gonna continue to just, you know what I'm saying, be open to love. And I think that's great. I think you can be open. I think you can love and be a lover, not a fighter, all of that. But I think it's also okay to take breaks. I think it's also okay to heal from previous relationships and take some time. If you love so much, in my personal, then take the time to fully love on yourself and not attach yourself to someone else. When you got, you know, like, and I ain't trying to shit on her motherhood or anything like that, because I don't know how she is as a mom or a parent, but it's like, you got all them kids you could love on. Okay, instead of trying to attach yourself to this man, that man, and love on them, you know, like, girl, like, if you love, go love on them. But anyway, what else? She says Jaylan never took care of her sisters, something that he tried to kind of mention in the interview, I suppose. And she says she never took care of his sisters, but he begged for her sisters to move in because he figured the sisters would help out around the house with, you know, with certain responsibilities, so he wouldn't have to help out with that. She also says that she doesn't hate him. She wants him to get the therapy that he needs or whatever, and she wants him to do better. She says her kids have always lived with she and Jaylan, but right now the children don't live with her. They live with their dad. The oldest two live with the dad, and it looks like she has the younger two, which is Emma, and then the youngest son, because his dad isn't active in his life. So she says she got to a place where she just felt like she couldn't raise them because, you know, she can't raise a man. Like, it's best if they go with their dads and be raised. She also lets us know that at one point she was paying child support for the oldest child. She said that there were lies and different things being told about her, and the judge decided to side with the oldest kid's dad and gave him full custody, and therefore required her to have to pay money. Now, I'm gonna be real honest with y'all. That don't sound right to me. Okay. Again, not shitting on her motherhood at all. I don't know how this lady was, but I definitely have questions, because it sounded like your oldest son primarily is always with his daddy. He was never really with you like that. So it just makes me question a little bit how involved in your kid's life or were you? And then now you're sending the other one back. It kind of makes me think, do you still have, I don't know. Do you still have the money like you say you had? Do you still have the money to where you can actually take care of your kids? Or can you not manage them, take care of them, and you had to send two of them over there to their dad because you can only afford the younger two? I'm just kind of wondering. I feel like I could possibly understand based on how, you know, the economy is at this time. You know what I'm saying? But something about that in that milk is a little dirty. It's some things flying around, some floating around in the milk. And it's not giving clean for me, but okay, you know, I'm like, lies were told. I'm like, I don't know, for the judge to give a child to the dad and then turn around and force you to pay child support, when we already know that's very rare in women cases. So it's like, you really gotta be a down bad ass. You gotta be in either you're a down bad ass mama or you're in a down bad ass position or something for him to get full custody, and you got to pay child. Something about that ain't right, but let's keep going, okay? Now, she says that at this time, she says that when the question came up about her putting Jaylan on child support, she said she probably will be putting him on child support because she don't think that they can effectively co-parent, right? Based on how he's said and done certain things. I feel like if she puts him on child support, I honestly don't think it has anything to do with them effectively co-parenting. I think that y'all probably have effectively co-parents up to this point. I think that you're likely going to put him on child support because you don't like the interview that he did. So this would be like a get back to you. And I also feel like if you're just saying that to say it in the interview, it was giving a slick threat. Like, Jaylan, don't fucking play with me. Don't play with me bitch, like I won't sit up there and have your ass tied up. So you say one more thing, then I'm on your ass. And you're going to be paying child support, right? So that's what it's also giving. But you better hope now Jaylan ain't in no position to do exactly what that first baby daddy did, which is to get full custody. Okay, so we're going to say, I don't know, girl. I don't know. We just going to have to see now. Anywho, she goes on to let us know that she's currently modeling full time at this particular time. That's one of the things she has going on. She says that when it comes to her and Jaylan and her grooming or pursuing him, that's not what that was. He pursued her. He came after her. She did not go after him. Let that be clear. And she says she never meant to be manipulative. She just only had her boundaries. That's it. I wasn't trying to manipulate you. I was just trying to have my boundaries. But if you feel like I manipulated you, then okay, fine, whatever. She said that she only had the best intentions. Okay. She also says that she has no issue with Porsha. Simon was never her husband if he was able to be taken away by another woman. Okay. Yeah, I'm sure you would say that because he was cheating on you with not just Porsha, but other women too. Okay. It was a lot of other women that came through before her. Let you tell it. So I guess you're right. He wasn't your husband, but then she says she ain't got no issue with Porsha, but she triggered by Porsha because she says when she sees Porsha, it just does something to her. And it sends her back to that sour spot, regarding their overall situation. Okay. She said if she could do it all over again, she would have never did Housewives because it ruined her life. And see, there was a little bit of double talk in this interview for me. Because y'all was already headed downhill because you also said that you could have stayed in the marriage if you wanted to. So I'm a little confused. You could have stayed in the marriage if you wanted to, but then turned around and said Real Housewives ruined your life. It seems like your life was already being ruined. So I don't know what's the difference? The fact that you just went and got on a public platform, so not everybody got all eyes on you. Is that what you mean? As far as ruined your life because you was okay with being cheated on in private, girl, I am completely lost. But there were definitely times where I felt like double talk was being had in this interview. So that's why I feel like, girl, all y'all lying from Simon to Falynn to Jaylan to Porsha, everybody some fucking liars, girl. But y'all do whatever the hell it is that y'all want to do, honey. That's all that I got. Okay, y'all leave y'all thoughts and comments down below about Falynn's recent interview that she did with Baller Alert. I'm Jamie, that's me. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and share my videos. Follow me on Instagram and Twitter at JamiThatsMe, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Bye bye.